Live from the CBS Bay Area studios, this is KPIX 5 News.
The body of a young Bay Area woman who disappeared more than 9 months ago has now been found. Where that discovery was made and what police plan to do next. Elon Musk and Twitter slashed the company's workforce nearly in half, and within hours of being let go, layoff workers file a class action lawsuit. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi speaks publicly for the first time since her husband Paul was attacked and seriously hurt in San Francisco 8 days ago. Good morning. It is Saturday, November 5th. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Devin Feely. Let's start with a quick check of our weather with First Alert meteorologist Darren Beck.
First thing we'll take a look at this morning, Devin, is live First Alert Doppler, which has rain on it. Going to take a while for those showers to get here, but they're coming. Second half of the day, light rain. It's not going to be big totals today, but you should plan on some light rain for the second half of Saturday. Much better rain for Monday, early morning Monday, and then throughout the day on Tuesday. We'll go over all of that in more detail in the complete First Alert forecast. For now, let's get you ready for Friday morning. You don't need the umbrella right now. And it's not even all that cold. The clouds overhead have managed to keep the temperatures relatively warm. It's low to mid 50s out there now. Actually feels pretty good. Daytime highs today will go to the mid 60s. And PM showers for pretty much everybody, even the coast. If you see it, you might see some early morning showers on the far north coast, but it'll be afternoon showers there as well. See you with the full First Alert forecast in a bit. Devin, back to you.
Months of searching and a family's uncertainty and anguish are now at an end. The long search for Alexis Gabe is over. We learned late last night that her remains were found in Amador County. The 24-year-old Oakley woman disappeared on January 26 after visiting her ex-boyfriend's home. Now, on Thursday, someone found partial human remains in the town of Plymouth. That's about 40 miles south and east of Sacramento. It's about 80 miles from Oakley. Yesterday, a forensic dental specialist confirmed that it was Alexis. Investigators say they may never recover all of her remains. They fear that they could have been scattered in several different areas. Now, her remains were found in the area where her ex-boyfriend Marshall Curtis Jones traveled after she disappeared. Jones died in a shootout with police in Washington in June as they tried to arrest him. Gabe's parents have been pleading for help since she disappeared. Here's what her father told us in August.
We're here today to let our voice be heard. We want them to do something about it because they've been ignoring us for months now.
Police say they're planning a press conference for sometime this week. Our other top story, Twitter layoffs came fast and almost as quickly there is now a class action lawsuit. Employees flooded Twitter with reaction. The city tells us that 784 employees at San Francisco's mid-market offices will be officially terminated on January 4th. Now, a lot of the workers said that they found out when they were locked out of their work accounts.
I found that my work laptop was remotely wiped and access to Slack and Gmail revoked.
Elon Musk, the new CEO, is responding on his own platform, tweeting, "Unfortunately, there is no choice when the company is losing over $4 million a day. Everyone exited was offered 3 months of severance, which is 50% more than legally required." There are questions about whether these layoffs are in fact legal. An employment attorney says it is a bit unusual to see a lawsuit this early in the termination process. He tells KPIX Betty Yu that workers typically wait to see if that severance pay comes through before they make any legal moves. Here's more from Betty's interview.
A lawsuit filed in San Francisco federal court on Thursday names 5 workers as plaintiffs. Some had already been locked out of company accounts, an indication they would soon be formally terminated.
It's a little bit premature because we don't know yet what the employer is going to do. So I see this as somewhat of a preemptive or early strike by the attorney filing the suit on behalf of all the workers.
Bob Issa is a partner that specializes in labor and employment at Duane Morris.
My suspicion in this case is that Twitter's got lawyers. They're going to know how the law works and that they'll put severance packages together that will comply with the WARN Act and pay these people a minimum of 60 days plus all of their benefits.
That was Betty Yu reporting. Now, Twitter is eliminating a total of 3,700 jobs. Again, that's about half of its total workforce. Now, despite the layoffs, San Francisco's mayor sees a silver lining in the company's plan to bring back the remaining employees to the office. KPIX's Dahlin explains from Twitter headquarters.
Pre-COVID, Market Street would be buzzing with office and tech workers leaving work in the evening. But as you can see, it's very quiet right now. But some wonder if the Twitter shakeup could bring more people back to this area.
If you were here 3 years ago, pre-COVID, we couldn't stand here. It'd be an army of people. Army of people everywhere.
Chris Foley says his business is down to about 15% of what it was pre-pandemic. They used to see about 6,000 customers each weekday.
We had to shut down our whole meat department. You couldn't keep it alive.
He owns The Market, which is on the first floor of the Twitter building. It's a marketplace filled with groceries, hot food, and even a bar.
It's sad, but you got to keep your chin up, right? You got to keep fighting.
He feels very bad for those out of a job. He hopes the new requirement for the remaining Twitter workforce to return to office will keep his business alive.
Welcome them back because we missed them for the past 2.5 years. I think more people on the street and more people talking is better for the community and actually rebuilds the fabric of our neighborhoods. Mayor
London Breed agrees. She says getting workers back to the office will help revitalize the mid-market area.
Twitter does have an in-house cafeteria food system that exists. So I want to understand whether or not that will continue and whether or not restaurants in the area will be impacted.
She's reaching out to see if she can meet with new owner Elon Musk. Regarding the layoffs, Musk tweets, there is no choice when the company is losing over $4 million a day.
Twitter was having pretty serious revenue challenges and cost challenges before the acquisition talks started. And any company that is dependent on advertising has had a hard time.
Some tech experts say Musk could move parts of Twitter out of San Francisco to cut costs.
The unemployment rate in San Francisco isn't even at 3%. There are so many opportunities to work in San Francisco in various capacities.
Despite the last 2 years, Chris is staying positive.
I believe San Francisco will always come back.
Elon Musk says the laid-off workers will get 3 months of severance. Outside of Twitter, I'm Dahl Lang, KPIX 5.
Other tech companies are also cutting jobs right now. Economist Stephen Levy says it's the tech industry's way of preparing for a potential recession. Now, despite those layoffs, he says there are reasons to be optimistic.
Apple and Google and Facebook still planning major expansions in Mountain View and Redwood City and San Jose, and some going on in Oakland. So you have positive from the big companies for the long term, but we are entering a slowdown. I'm optimistic about the long term, but the next 6 months to a year could be fairly bumpy.
So how do these job losses compare to the overall U.S. job market? According to the latest report, employers added about 250,000, 261,000 jobs last month. That's a pretty good number, but it's not so great when compared to job growth in previous months. 381,000 jobs were gained on average during those months. October saw a 7% drop in the number of new jobs that were available. And overall unemployment last month increased to nearly 4%. The man accused of attacking Paul Pelosi in his San Francisco home waived his court appearance yesterday. Now, next month, a hearing will determine if Dave DePape will stand trial. It's unclear if he will claim insanity. In her first public comments since the attack, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi rallied people to vote in the high-stakes midterms.
I believe that this race is very winnable. I've seen the enthusiasm, I've seen the determination, I've seen the courage of our candidates, the dedication of our grassroots, and I thank all of you for that.
Speaker Pelosi is staying in San Francisco with her husband Paul for the time being and is working remotely. Well, coming up, tornadoes flattened buildings in several southern states and caused at least one death. An update this morning on the extent of the damage. And severe smog in New Delhi in India prompts extreme measures with a wide array of activities coming to a halt during an ongoing emergency. Here's a live look outside before we head to break. We'll be right back.